All right, guys. I'm going to see if anybody's awake this morning on a Sunday morning.
See if anybody's up. Here we go.
All right. So how do we make it through? Oh, Celtic Nana.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're doing great.
Absolutely no damage. God was good. And turned that storm last minute. It was headed straight to us, and it flipped, and we got the west side.
West side, yeah.
So it was pretty awesome.
We had absolutely nothing here.
No problems.
I don't even know if the wind even blew. It did a little bit.
We slept through it.
We slept through it. I mean, we went. They was talking about it. The eye was going to come right over deep south.
And if you can see, hey, Tommy Alderman and Roy and Orphan Lady Casby, I don't know how you say that. Daniel, Lisa, Susan, Ian. It came from the thumbnail I put up. You can see all that bad weather was coming straight toward deep south. Once it hit land, it just kind of.
I started praying. I said, Lord, please don't let this come here because we got so much stuff. It's just, we do not want our cane tore down. We don't want all this stuff going on. And I said, you blessed us with the best year of sugar cane we've ever had. And I don't know why you just tear it all down. And then the thing made landfall. And as soon as it did, it just took off to the right. And we got we got 1 1/16 inch of rain. Yeah. That was it.
It didn't blow any cane over. It leaned a little.
It leaned some of it.
But not much. And I've tried to upload a cane video from yesterday. Well, was it yesterday?
Yeah, we did a before and after.
The after's not on there.
Oh, the after's not on there? No. Okay, I know we did a before.
We did a before the cane shot, and it didn't get uploaded yesterday. It's not uploading today, so we may pull it all down, redo everything, but the cane looks wonderful.
Yeah, the sugar cane made it through fine. We didn't have any washing anywhere, no damage. No, there's a few dead limbs laying on the ground, but that's pretty normal. Actually, we have worse stuff after a thunderstorm than we had after this.
We had, as far as we know, no thunder and lightning. You know, it's just kind of crazy. Once it hit, it did put water into the Gulf Coast because I've seen some of the casinos have water in them. But basically, no damage videos on Facebook or anything else that we can see from anybody. I do know that Addie Girls Homestead and Wallace Knife Works have been getting pretty hounded in Florida because they're getting the brunt of the
feeder bands.
The feeder bands and all this stuff, but no damage. Leslie and Danny at Scratchmade Homestead, I think they're doing pretty good. Nothing going on there. They got some of the brunt of it too. They probably got a lot more rain than we got and probably got more wind. Coon Mountain said getting a lot of rain and wind. The wind picked up at 4:30. So you're more toward the Florida side of it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, they blew this thing up like it was going to be this bad thing coming in here. We was going to have 100-something mile-an-hour winds and all this. So we just went to the cellar, carried our stuff. We just went to sleep. We woke up about 3:30.
Yeah.
And I said, wonder what it's doing outside. So, we got up about 11:30. We got up around 11:30, and I opened up the door and looked out. Wasn't doing anything. It had rained a little bit, and then we got up at 3:30, and I looked out again, and I told her, I said, look, we laid back down about 4. I told her, I said, I'm going to the house, man. I ain't staying there no more. Ain't nothing going on. And that was it. We got up and come up here and fix breakfast and eat. That was it. We've been around the property. We've already planted a garden this morning.
Yeah, Coco said that she got a microburst come by their house in Michigan, and they have some limbs down. So they had worse weather than we did in Michigan. And then we have somebody from Summerall, which was not my hometown, but where I raised my children. Disney Mom said that they got some rain from the feeder bands yesterday afternoon, but that was about it. So Dolores said Mobile didn't get much damage. They got lucky too. They do have some power outages. And that's what Scratch was saying. They had some power outages in Mobile.
Yeah.
I don't know that they really on the coast if they had that many outages. I've not seen anybody mention any.
Yeah, I mean, we got up this morning, actually drizzly rain, 75 degrees. We got out, we planted broccoli and cabbage.
Yeah.
In our back to Eden garden. We shot some videos on that, you know, trying to get that ready to go up. It's just this dadgum internet system we got here. It just makes it so frustrating to do anything.
Yeah, I'm trying different, putting it in different sizes, and I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever size I put it in, it's still taking hours to upload, and that's worse. We had at least gotten it down to where it was uploading in a couple of hours.
We trying it in 480, 720, 1080. It doesn't matter. We trying it in all of them, and none of them seem to be working. So.
Yeah. So, and somebody said something about compressing it and sending it over. I've not figured that out yet, so I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference because I'm not sure how that works, but I've got to look into it. Nikki, are y'all okay? I see she made it in, so I'm assuming that they have no problems and she at least has phone service.
At least has phone service, yeah.
And I see Grizz made it in.
See you later, Tommy.
Yeah, it's probably buffering.
It's going to be buffering bad because we just got bad internet.
It's just part of it. Yeah, we just decided not to go live because we had no clue at 8 o'clock last night. That was supposed to be hitting us. It was coming straight toward us if you look at the map that I put up. And we knew better than to chance it. I mean, it's bad this morning and we don't have rain.
Yeah, it ain't even raining this morning. It's bad.
All right, so
yeah, we just wanted to let y'all know that we didn't have anything tore up.
We're doing fine.
We're doing fine. God was good to us. He didn't let nothing happen. Nothing washed away. Nothing blew away.
Yeah.
All is good and all is well.
And so this past week, pretty much we got the only thing we've gotten done mainly was you got the pad for the.
I got the pad for our building for our shed tractor ready to go. Yeah. They'll be bringing our building. What was it? This Friday?
Yeah.
They'll be putting our building up this Friday for the tractor. And after we get that, then we'll.
We've got the pad.
We've got the pad ready for the cabin over there. We've got that ready.
Yeah, and it held good. We went and looked at it. Not much going on there. Didn't get enough rain to wash anything like we usually do. We usually get like gully washers or something.
Yeah, but it didn't do any of that. They were talking about 4 to 6 inches of rain. We did not get that. We got 1 inch.
Yeah, and so we were very, very lucky and spared a lot here. Yeah, everybody's saying they're glad that we're okay.
Yeah, Rocky Brooks says everybody needs to get solar. I agree. I wish I could afford to get solar. That would be great.
We're going to work toward that for the cabin over there.
We're going to try to put it in the cabin, yeah.
So glad you're kicking. And Nikki said it's blessed to see and hear you both. I'm glad that it's not been any worse. I mean, it seems like the newscasts are blowing all these storms out of proportion and they get everybody really upset and carrying on, and then these storms fizzle out. This is the 9th named storm this year, and how many of them have we had just back and forth? They get you worked up in Texas, they get you worked up in Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and then it goes a whole different way, and they keep going back and forth, and it seems like they get everybody on the coast just crazy. And granted, I think we went out, we came in and looked at the radar it was almost 8. It may have been 7 between 7 and 8:30. I don't even remember. That's when I took this picture of the radar. And it was looking really rough, and we were in a lull. There was no rain here at that point, but it was coming. And they just keep making it like it's really, really bad, but then you're afraid to not do anything. I mean, we stay prepared anyway.
Yeah, we're always prepared.
One of the things Danny and I talked about is if you did not have any power, you did not have TV computers, any of that, how would you know when a hurricane is coming in for us here on the coast?
Yeah, if you didn't have any of that stuff, I mean, you'd be like our forefathers. They had no clue. I mean, my dad told me they were called bad summer storms. That's all he knew.
And just like us, we went out for 2 days and checked, because we knew the storm was coming for a week because they were predicting it. But we would go out every day, look at the weather. There's nothing different. Yesterday, we went out every couple of hours looking at the weather. Nothing different except it started drizzling. But, I mean, that's normal for this time of the year. So how would we know a hurricane came through or was coming through other than a bad storm? And if we had even stayed up and watched it last night, it would have just been a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Not even a thunderstorm.
It didn't thunder and lightning.
It didn't even thunder and lightning. So it would just been a rainstorm to us. So how would we ever know there was a hurricane?
We wouldn't. We just have to wait and live through it. SC Homestead wants to know, in the deep south, they said they're in the deep south. They have a greenhouse, even with a shade cloth. They said it's too hot. And SC, that's exactly why we don't even fool with our greenhouse in the summertime. As a matter of fact, I could go out there to my greenhouse right now and it's 75 degrees and cloudy, and the top is covered on it, and it's probably still around 85 degrees in it. And it'll get up to about 120 today. So it's, you've got to have some sort of a cooling system in them down south here. You can put the shade cloths over them, and you can have the misting water systems and all that, but you still got to have a way to cool that thing down. I mean, you've got to have some kind of temperature control system.
Yeah, because we have a greenhouse, what do you call it, a nursery up the road, and he has his climate control.
Yeah, his is all climate controlled. Yeah.
I mean, and he grows lots and lots of plants. I saw somebody say that in the old days they watched the animals. That's what we did. I'd go out off and on yesterday to see if our animals were acting any different.
Yeah.
If there was a way I could tell, and they weren't
acting any different than they ever. If it started drizzling, raining, they run. Even the pigs would run, get in their building.
Yeah, but they do that anyway.
They do that anyhow. Yeah.
Anytime there's a rain, our pigs and our sheep hate rain, so they go to their buildings. So nothing acted any different yesterday. So, if there was nothing going on, we wouldn't know. We would just know it's a storm.
We just think it was a storm coming in. That's all we'd know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nikki said her friend in Mobile said they had some tornadoes last night. Yeah.
I think that's why there's a few power outages there.
Yes.
And
Geeky Gardens is right. It's better to be ready and bored than not to be ready at all. That's our theory. Yeah.
And we took down yesterday, before any rain started, we took down bedding for our futon. We took down a little bit of food and water that we needed down there extra. We already had that kind of stuff, but we took down snacks and
took down a couple of chairs. To read, a couple of chairs, just something, flashlights, just something to make sure we were okay, and that was it.
Prayers altered our experience. That's what we think. It was the prayers.
Yeah.
And we took and videoed a little bit while we're down there, but I don't know that I'll ever put any of it up. Danny was reading magazines, and I was reading a book by Jonathan Kahn called Preparedness, and that's what we did. And when we got tired, we went to bed. We didn't even stay up, and we got up this morning and came back up before 4:30, something like that.
Yeah, around 4:30 we came back.
And couldn't tell anything was going on, really.
Rocky Brooks says, "How's the RV, Danny?" It's still just sitting there. I've got it completely gutted. I've still got to replace some windows in it. We've got the stuff to replace the windows. It's just that the weather will not quit raining long enough, because when it does quit raining, it's rained so much that we've got to do other things, and our food comes first. Our raising our food, getting our food plots in, preparing a slab place for the tractor, and putting the building up. Those kind of things come ahead of the RV. The RV will get worked on when we get time. Yeah,
we've been the last 2 weeks going to go ahead and take the window out, but the deal is if we take it out and what we have doesn't work, then the window's out till we can get something to fix it.
Yeah.
And with rain coming in almost every week
we have rain every day this week except for maybe 1 or 2 days.
And does that mean it'll rain? No, but they have a chance.
Like 50 to 60% chance. And when it's above 50%, we're probably going to get something.
Even if it's a little drizzle. Better to be boarded and bored. Yeah, we didn't board anything up. Probably the only time you would really board up things is a Cat 3 and on.
Yeah, I don't usually board anything up unless it's a Cat 3 or more.
Yeah. And probably then, if it would be going toward Louisiana, we would be on the bad side of the storm, on the east side. So that's when you need to board up.
Yeah, we don't usually worry too much if we're on the west side of it, but if we're on the east side, then we start paying attention.
Yeah. Something about getting some big tents. I'm not sure if that.
Rocky Brooks says, "I understand that the RV is not going anywhere. It's not. It's just there. I mean, I go out and crank it up every now and then and run it and stuff like that. And we've got some work done on the inside of it, but not nowhere near where we need to be. And we were going to go ahead and start putting a lot of effort into it, but since we've started the cabin project or cottage or whatever you want to call it, there seems to be more people interested in the cabin and the cottage than there ever was in an RV. So, and there's very few people are willing to live in an RV till they get a house built, but a lot of people are wanting to just build a tiny home. And there's so many people out there building these tiny houses and cabins and stuff like that. That's really they're not doing a good job. I hate to say that, but I mean they're really dangerous. They're not safe the way they're doing them, and they're getting shafted by these shed companies. And that's one thing I wanted to try to help people with is to keep yourself from being shafted, because yeah, you can get a pretty good price on one of these buildings, but there's no insulated windows in it. There's no insulation underneath it. I mean, the runners are in the wrong place underneath it. I mean, there's just all these issues. You know, the door's not even 6 foot 8 inch door on most of them. So, I mean, there's just a lot of issues with a lot of these buildings, and I hate to see people get took advantage of. So if the Lord will bless us with enough money to be able to come up with one and do it, we're going to go that route.
Nikki, I'm glad Fred's not having too many issues. She said she had to go. I saw My Light of Hope says Paradigm is what the friends and them are going to start tonight. That book is really pretty interesting. I'd already heard Jonathan Kahn speak, and so I know basically where he's going in the book. I've heard a lot of it already, but by reading the book, you get more in detail, I guess, than his speech. One says absolutely.
Tequila Hepit Bull.
Tequila the Pit Bull.
The Pit Bull, okay. Tequila.
He can't read.
I can barely make the letters out. The screen's way out in front of me there. Absolutely nothing happened. I live in Gulfport, soon moving to McHenry, and nothing happened. Oh, if you move to McHenry, you won't be but just a few miles from us then.
Your daughter Jennifer said it got kind of rough at her house there on the coast. And I know they did have some flooding issues in some areas. We live in our RV. Coon Mountain says they live in RV. Yeah, there's a lot of people living in RVs.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that live in RVs. It's just that there's more people right now doing tiny houses and cabins than they are RVs. And for us to put out money right now, we feel like it would be better if we go ahead and put it into a cabin than the RV. We get more views that way and help more people, we think. And
the RV is something that we want to work on, and when we do, Danny's got so many specialized things for the RV.
Yeah.
Because everything in it's going to be his twist on things, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, when I build it, it's going to be the ultimate bug out vehicle. I mean, it's not. It won't be like your ordinary RV.
Yeah, and with the cabin, or the cottage as we've started calling it, it's not the real tiny house. Somebody asked, I think Danny forgot to mention in the video that he put up a couple of days ago, that it is actually 16 by 28 which is still, to us, is tiny.
Yeah, but we're also going to add a bedroom onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start with, the bedroom will be in the 16 by 28, but it won't be roped off. It won't be walled off. And when we have the money, then we will add the bedroom onto one side of a back porch or front porch.
One side of the front porch,
yeah, somewhere. And that way it'll be separate later. But you can always add on to these. That's the beauty. Back in
if you get the right pitched roof, you can.
Back in 1990, my ex and I started building a house from scratch, and we built a 20 by 30, which is, to us, was a tiny house.
Yeah.
We thought it was a tiny house, and everybody that saw it thought it was a tiny house. We had no idea that anybody would live in anything smaller than that.
Yeah.
And there was 7 of us. I had 5 children, and one of them was born that year. He was a baby when we moved in. And we lived in a 20 by 30 with an upstairs, had 2 small bedrooms. We had 1 bath, and we never put a second bath in it. I mean, to this day, it still has just 1 bath, but we added on. On the front porch, we turned part of it into a small bedroom for the kids, and then on the back, we went out the back and added a bedroom on there. So a small house, a tiny house, can be added onto if it's done right, and you plan the doors and windows in the right places and that sort of thing. It's always a way you can keep adding on and make it a bigger house later on.
Wonderful Blessed Life says, with my 5 kids, there's no way if I want to keep my sanity. And that's what we're talking about. If you got a bunch of kids and you want to stay sane, there is no way. You'll be on each other's throat. I mean, you'll be screaming and hollering at one another. I mean, there's just no way possible.
Yeah, and our thing is, back then, I had 5 kids, but I homeschooled. And this was in the 90s. And I had other people's kids off and on. I usually had more than 5 kids in my house. And we had wooden stairs going up to the upstairs. And it sounded like a herd of elephants every time those kids went up and down the stairs.
Yep.
And I was constantly fussing about the stairs, telling them to walk lightly. It was just, so you have to know what you can handle, what you can't. I finally got used to it. But it really was annoying because if you're in the kitchen working and they're up there playing, it sounds like banging and stuff. It's very annoying, very, very much. So you would have to send them outside and tell them to get somewhere.
Yeah, you did. Well, we weren't allowed to play in the house when we were kids. So, but Pat Skelton says that there's 79,000 customers without power in Mississippi and Alabama. So, there has been some parts that got the brunt of it.
Yeah.
And what was the one up there? My Light of Hope said that there's a 12 CD of the Paradigm that you can actually listen to. It's an actual Bible study program.
I'm probably
You're about halfway? Yeah,
probably halfway through the book right now. Grizz said he would rather live in a teepee, but his wife won't have no part of it. Well, then you go live in the teepee and let your wife stay in the house where she's comfy. That's the way I look at it. I wouldn't live in a teepee, not here.
Yeah, Jennifer said, we had stairs and Daddy used to tell us, quit running.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Because kids want to run all the time. We eventually carpeted ours so they can stop some of the racket. But, let's see. Coon Mountain says, it's okay to live off grid, but when you get older, you need lights and running water. That is so true.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, our cottage or our cabin, we're going to go ahead and wire it, even though it's going to be off-grid. Mm-hmm. In order for it to be legal, it has to have some form of power hooked to it. Now, it can be a generator. It can be solar, they said at the code office, but it must have some form of electricity hooked to it in order for the smoke detectors to meet code. Yeah,
and that means that they've got to be working, I guess, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, they have to be running. It has to be going.
You can't just put them in there and them not be working, not have power to it that they can work, which most of them have a battery backup. So you could work both ways, I guess.
Donna H. said, we've ordered a 14 by 40 shed from Graceland to make a tiny house. The goal is to be debt-free. Yeah, you can get a 14 by 40 probably here for around, what was it, about 11 or 12,000?
Probably
around 11. I think it was around 11,000 and something. Right at 12. But there's lots of issues, Donna. Be sure that you get into it. Make sure that the windows that they put in it are insulated. If not, you're going to have to go in and put bubble wrap on the inside of them to keep them where you keep the heat and cold out. And, if it's got wood on the outside of it, that's really good. But if it's got metal, then you're going to have to make sure there's some kind of house wrap underneath that metal as a vapor barrier to keep the walls from sweating. There's so many things. Make sure the floor joists are at least 2x6s on 16-inch centers. Mm-hmm. There's just a ton of things, to look for in these when you get one.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying, I see Coon Mountain said they lived off-grid for 3 years, but now they like having lights. That's the deal. If we can pay the bill, we'd rather go ahead and do it, because we're going to have lights one way or another, whether it's solar or generator or whatever. You're still going to be able to flip lights. It's not like it's going to be lanterns everywhere. We probably will have some lanterns in there, but for safety issues, if we had somebody staying in there with kids, we don't want them burning the place down because they allow the kids to try to mess with the lanterns and things like that. It's safety issues lots of times.
Yeah, Rocky Brooks said that there's repos where they live at. You get a 1440 for around 9,000. Yeah, if you can find a repo, that's good. If it hadn't been destroyed, that's really well. Now, a lot of these finance or rent-to-own programs is really a ripoff, guys, because here, a rent-to-own here, they told us, what was it, 38% interest?
The interest was outrageous.
Yeah, I told them, I was like, what? And they said, yeah, it's around 38% interest. I told them, I said, there ain't no way I would do that. I'd do without first.
Yeah, because we checked into all aspects of it to know what our options were in case. And when they said 30-something%, you might as well be going to
a loan shark.
Or something. I mean,
yeah, that don't cut it with me. When somebody tells me 6% interest, I'm throwing a fit.
Yeah.
Because I tell them, I was just like, I don't even want to pay 6%. I told them, I said, there's just no way. That's highway robbery. I tell the man at the bank, look, you're not here to help me. I'm here to help you. And we usually have words, but they usually work out.
Yeah, and Donna said theirs is rated for 140-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah.
That's the deal, especially here in South Mississippi.
Yeah.
You have to have a building, even the mobile homes. Everybody's saying, something on wheels. You can't just put anything.
You can't have them on wheels here. You have to take them off the wheels.
Yeah, and mobile homes, you can't take a mobile home from another area and bring it in here. Right. It has to meet a certain criteria for the 6 coastal counties, and so this is for safety issues. They're not being a horses behind. It means that it's safe, because the mobile homes that were here years ago weren't wind rated enough to take a hurricane. And a lot of people lost their lives. So now, with the plans and the codes, if you want to say, in place, you have to have a mobile home that is up to a certain wind ratage, and it has to be put on pillars.
Yeah, it's got to be on a solid concrete foundation of some sort, tied down to the ground through the concrete.
And there are people that do live in some that are not what they would say up to code, but they were grandfathered in. And then you take your own life in your hands if a tornado or hurricane comes through. That's just...
And see, Rocky Brook is looking at life the way I look at life. Now, I used to try to make all the money that I could make. I was one of the kind I wanted to climb that ladder, and I made a lot of money at one point in my life. But when I got there, I realized I wasn't any happier than I was. Actually, I was happier making less money. Mm-hmm. And now that I don't make any money hardly, I'm a lot happier. And it's where I want to be, because it teaches me that not to depend on everything around me. That I've got to get out and actually do something to survive. I can't. There's so many people talking about, we prep, we go and buy this and we buy that. And let me tell you, as a matter of fact, I've got a video coming up on this probably pretty soon about being sustainable, and it ain't gonna be pretty. I can tell you that. It's probably going to tick a lot of people off, but it's the honest to God truth.
Yeah. And I don't know, we end up, I don't even know how to say it. We have a lot to eat here. It may not be what everybody else would want to eat.
Yeah, a lot of people get tired eating what we eat, I'm sure.
Yeah, but at least it's our food. We have something that we can eat at all times. Whether it's something in the freezer, something in the cellar, or something out in the yard that we just go pick. There is something that is our food at all times. We're not up to the meat standard yet, but we're getting, hopefully within the next year, everything will work out with the meat department, and we'll end up having our own meat department. I hope.
Yeah, Rocky Brook Farm says the more, and he's got a good point there. The more you make, the less time you have, and the more money you spend. That's exactly right. You actually spend what you make.
Yeah, and when we didn't have any money for the first couple of years,
we lived about 2 years with zero income.
We didn't go spend. We learned to do without, which now drives Danny crazy, because when he goes, well, I want to go get this, and I'm going, no, because the roles have reversed.
Yeah.
When I first came out here, I was the one that would say, can't we go do this? And he'd go, no, we have to save every dime. Now I'm the one that's pulling the reins back on him.
Yeah.
Every time we start to town, he goes, well, I could use this and I could use that. And I'm going, do we really need it? That's my question. If we really, really need it, then we'll go get it. If we don't, then it gets put off till it's a have to.
Yeah. I mean, it's in Wonderful Blessed Life says, it's such a great feeling to be able to be self-sufficient. And they wish they were there, they said. And we're almost completely self-sufficient. I mean, we're about 85%.
And we're never going to be there.
We'll never be 100.
We have to have our salt, our flour, and I order almond flour, which is a little expensive for most all of y'all, but it works for us. I know how to handle it and keep it down to a minimum where it lasts longer, and we don't waste it. You know, I don't make a whole lot of stuff just to be making things with almond flour. It's something that I know Danny will eat, something that I know is good for him, and he spaces it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't just go in there and eat a whole cake in one day.
No, I'll take a whole week to eat a cake.
And Rocky Brook is saying, with a good community, you can live with less. Just put yourself first. Yes, with a good community and everybody working together, but we don't have that out here. We have a good community.
We have a good community of people. We have great people.
Yes, but we don't have others putting forth effort into sustainability.
Right.
In other words, we can't go to our neighbor and get meat or vegetables that we don't have, and they can't come to us and get it because they don't have anything to barter with. If all our neighbors were growing something, then it would be great.
Yeah, now we have some that are trying. They've got some animals that they're trying to get into and doing good, which is a good thing. We have one neighbor who has a lot of equipment.
Yeah. And
we do barter with him with the use of his equipment.
So there's different aspects of self-sustainable, I guess.
Yeah.
Cats are a prepper's backup food supply. We don't have any cats.
We don't have any cats out here.
Zero.
So we have 0 cats, so we don't have to worry about that. The only cats we got are coons, and we catch most of them.
Yeah. Bribe Wanda with Danny corn. Danny corn's not going to work. He'd have to have candy corn.
I'd have to have candy corn for her. As a matter of fact, that's what we're going to name our cottage. We might as well go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, I think it was Coco. I'm not sure. She can tell me if it was or not. The other night that said we should name it Candy Corn Cottage. And over the last week, that has just stuck. So the ideas just went wow with it because I wanted to use the colors of candy corn to brighten it up some. Some oranges, different shades of yellow and white to go in with the wood look that Danny's going to have. And so that's probably what we're going to call it, is Candy Corn Cottage.
Yeah, we're just trying to. I think that's what we will go with. I think we'll go with that. I'm gonna try to make it fit that mold if we can.
Yeah, we've got some ideas on a lot of it. Grandma Rose is in. I need to talk to you. Do you have our phone number still? Can you call me? I wanted to see about getting an apron from you, so I need to talk to you this week if possible. Getting ready for church.
Susan tells us they're getting ready for church. Everybody here canceled all the church services everywhere, even our church, because of the hurricane, and then it didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're saying that's perfect name.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that name.
It's 11:06, and where Half Acre Dreams is.
Oh wow!
What time is it here? It's just now 10.
Just now 10. So they're on East Coast time.
Perfect name. Yeah, I think Candy Corn Cottage would work. I mean, that after it was said on, I think our last live stream, somebody said that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it was Coco, but I'm not 100% sure who it was. But we kind of like that, and we'll do some little differences in it eventually. It may take us a year or two, but it'll get there. And Grizz is still wanting candy corn seeds.
He's wanting some candy corn seeds.
I'm going to have to send him some.
You'll have to send him some candy corn seed.
Hey, I've got a variety now, Grizz. What kind you want? I've got like 10 or 12 different varieties of candy corn. I'm going to do a display for our gathering, and he can mention that in a minute, what the gathering is. But I've got little jars with different candy corns, and I'm going to do a display, and anybody coming better not touch my candy corn. I'll have some on the tables, but you can't touch my display.
Jen said, glad y'all are safe. Her last day of the class.
Yes. You go learn about moringa.
You go learn about that moringa, girl.
Because we want to know. Coco said, I forgot the name of the person who suggested.
As your motif.
Okay, so it wasn't you.
It wasn't her.
Okay.
Nate's name changed to Nada. I like that.
So. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because everybody is looking on Facebook. There's no pictures. I mean, I've seen just a few of the casinos flooded, but I've seen nothing else anywhere of damage. Now, I know over in Mobile area toward Florida, there's some damage over there, but I've not even seen pictures of that yet.
Grandma's Homestead said last four numbers 5066.
Yes, ma'am.
I know Rocky Brooks said they don't have any codes where they live at. Technically speaking, every state in the United States and every county in the United States has a code. It's called the National Building Code, because I've built all over the whole United States. It's just whether that county enforces that code or not. It's up to the county as to whether they enforce it. It's like Mississippi here where we live at. The whole state of Mississippi has adopted the International Building Code, but only the 6 coastal counties, only the 5 coastal counties enforce it. Even though it's statewide, the other counties in the state don't recognize it, and they don't enforce it.
Thank you, C. Dean.
So, so you be thankful that you're in an area that isn't really forceful about the codes. Now, some of the codes are really good. Me being in a construction company, I was going to build to those codes anyway, because I will not build anything that is not to a certain code, just simply because of safety reasons.
Yeah, Aloha Prepper asked if we planted any almond trees. That's something that we have not planted.
We have not planted almonds.
They say they'll grow where peaches grow. So
okay, they would grow here then.
We may have to try that. It would take them a while to get to produce them.
It'd probably take 5 or 6 years, like everything else. But we do have chestnut trees, and we planted them this year, and they bore this year.
I had 2 chestnuts.
Yeah.
2.
The tree couldn't have held anymore. I mean, it was.
It's a little flimsy thing, but it put on one tree, put on one, and another tree, and the third tree didn't put any on.
But there was something about the almond trees, though I can't remember. Something to do with the way they had to be done. I have to go back and look into that.
Yeah, that's one we haven't checked into yet. Which, if you're eating a lot of almonds, would help.
It would.
It would help.
Oh, let's see.
We've got a squirrel that we have a tree at our back door, and Danny and I have been watching it. It's not there now, but he was.
He comes back and forth across the deck in that tree all day long.
He's running up and down the tree, and he's just having him a ball. Have you considered insulating outside the frame and on top of the roof?
Well, we're going to put a fiberglass house wrap around ours before the OSB goes on the outside of it, and the purlins on the roof are being notched into the rafters, and we'll be putting the styrofoam air vents up through it with rock wool insulation. Rock wool insulation will not absorb water, and it won't burn. So we're going to try to go with that route if we can.
Country Living Oregon Style and D225 just popped in. How are you guys? Almonds can grow quick. Wow. Let me see, something to do with inspection.
Almond trees can grow quick. Put them in at 7,500. Well, we're only like 350 feet, so states don't prohibit certain varieties. Code is not enforced in Howell County. Yes, I've built for code just because of safety. I just like no inspectors. I agree. I like the fact of being able to go out on my property and build what I want and not have to have a permit.
Yeah.
But now that we're under international code, I can't do that anymore. Anything over 200 square feet, I've got to have a permit.
And we figured the cabin or cottage is going to be 543 square feet, I think. And we don't have to abide by any codes if we don't want to, as long as no one is living in it.
Yeah, if it's a hunting camp or a fishing camp,
we can do what we want.
We can do what we want. We don't have to have it. All we got to do is go sign an affidavit stating that that's what it is. And then they're based on just your integrity.
Tess Lynn's the one that did the candy corn cottage. Okay,
yeah.
Great. I was wondering. I knew somebody did. I just couldn't remember who. But we want to keep ours up to code just because.
Well, we never know if we might have to live in it.
Yeah, that's the whole deal.
Yeah.
We don't want to go against something and put something up, and later it cost us twice the price to fix it.
To go back and tear something out and have it redone.
We would rather have it done, even if it takes us longer to get it done.
Yeah.
We would rather do it right the first time.
Yeah. Grandma Rose says, I want apricot trees. We got 4?
I think we've got 4.
I think we got 4 apricot trees. They have not bore anything yet. They're not old enough, but we do have them.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've had
everybody's telling everybody's up that's in Missouri is kind of, I like that. They're letting everybody know where they're at in Missouri. I think that's great.
Yeah, several of them are in that area. Have you decided on a floor plan yet? I would be interesting to see your ideas from your experience.
Yes, we have a floor plan.
We have decided pretty much where everything is going inside. We had to do that before we could decide on a size.
Yeah.
Because if you just go purchase a 12 by 14 and then you go, okay, let me see, I need this, this, and this in it, and you can't fit it into
it. Won't fit in it, you're in trouble.
Because that was before we ever decided what size. We already knew kind of where everything would go.
Yeah, you don't ever just go buy a shed and then say, I got to figure out now where everything goes, because that's not wisdom. Wisdom is to lay out your design first and then see what size shed you need to fit that.
Yeah. So that's what we did. We know where the kitchen's going to be, where the bath is going to be, and where the fireplace.
We're going to put a fireplace in it.
We have the fireplace that we took out of here in the house, and we're going to install it into the cottage.
Yeah.
So we had to know where it goes. We had to know where the windows were in order to make it work for a couch and things like that.
Yeah. Plus, we're going to be using the little unit that we done the review on over there.
The air conditioning.
The air conditioning heating unit. And you have to have a window that goes all the way to the floor in order to be able to use that. So we had to make sure we had at least one window that went all the way to the floor in the living room.
Yeah.
So there's just lots of things that you have to take into consideration. We had to know exactly where the kitchen sink was going so we could put a window there. You got to have a window in the bathroom, because if not, you go in there and there's no electricity. It's pitch black unless you carry a lantern in with you. So so we don't want that. So we put a little small window in the bathroom.
And Backwoods Bungalow is wise planning to build a code in case family members need to stay in it in the future.
Yeah.
That's sort of kind of the deal, because we both have kids and grandkids, and we don't ever know what's going to happen in the future.
Right.
And plus, Danny and I may decide to let somebody have the house or live in the house, and we may want to move over there. And we want it right.
I want it right. I mean, I built $1 million homes for a living. And I want to make sure that when I build something, I don't want something half-built or shoddy. I want it to be energy efficient, because if we don't have any electricity, I don't want to have to sit there and freeze to death in the wintertime or burn up in the summertime because it was designed or insulated poorly. So I want to make sure I get all that stuff taken care of.
All right, Daniel the Biggs wants to know about bacon. He says sometimes it comes out more salty than others, even though he uses the same recipe.
Why is this? I use your bacon curing steps. A lot of it, Daniel, will have to do with just simply about the meat itself. Some pigs are more fatty than other pigs because it's basically the fat that absorbs a lot of the salt. But I will tell you this, if it gets to be too salty, don't freak out about it. When you cut it up to cook, right before you cook it, say 10 minutes before you cook it, put it in a bowl of warm water and let it set for about 10 minutes. Take it out and cook it, and the salt will all be gone out of it, so you don't have to worry. And a lot of it may have to do with the way you're washing it afterwards. So just maybe watch those things, because as soon as you get through curing it, you need to let it soak in water for about at least 10 to 15 minutes. And then wash it off real good, and then smoke it, and then wash it again after you smoke it.
What would a comfortable size for two to live in for a year till the new house can be built? We may be buffering so bad you may not even be seeing this, but
probably 16 by 28.
I would say probably, so you can turn around. A 16 by 28 is a good size. You could probably live in something smaller if you go to work every day and things like that. If you're only sleeping in it and cooking slightly, you could get into a 14 by, 24 or something?
Something like that. But if you're going to be in it very much, Wanda and I has looked at this and looked at it and looked at it, because our living room right here where we're living at is 17 by 27, which is basically the same exact square footage as a 16 by 28. So
we could live in this area.
We could live in this right here, because this is how we laid out our cabin based on our living room and foyer.
Yeah.
So we figured, okay, if this is how big it's going to be, the fireplace was already on the end of this room, so we knew what that was going to look like. We knew we had room on the right-hand side for a door. We knew that if we put the kitchen on this end down here, we would be fine. We have room enough in the middle to sleep if we wanted to, and a table. We got room enough in one of the corners for a bathroom, so we knew that it would work, is why we went with that particular size.
Hey, Keith, and hey, let's see, Lori family made it in, and Georgia Garden Girl. Hey, Wanda, hey, Wanda, hey, Wanda, hey, Wanda. Hey, Danny, good morning. Hey, Wanda, hey, Danny, good morning.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I got it. Half Acre Dreams is nearing 200 subs, and I saw Wonderful Blessed Life is reaching 500 subs. They're almost there. So we've got several of the smaller channels. If you guys hadn't checked them out, kind of check them out and sub to these guys, so you can kind of have a little bit to more community feeling when you go to each one of them. Most all of these guys have a channel, I think. Lori family is in an 8.5 by 20 with a family of 4. But you're not staying in it 24 hours a day. That's the deal. When you have to stay in it 24 hours a day, that's going to get a little cramped. Yeah. You're going to have to figure your way around each other, because that was Julie and John's problem with the RV. Yeah. Is being in it 24 hours a day with the kids. You have to have an out. You have to have some time away.
You got to have some time away from each other like that. You're just up under each other all the time.
Yeah. That's where I was at with my house when my kids were little. You had to put them outside, and in bad weather you can't do that, and it's really tough. But you have to, you have to do what you got to do. Jeremy Lackey, good morning.
Oh yeah, let's see here. We got Boon. Greetings from the Netherlands.
Yes. So
let's see here.
We just wanted to come spend a little time with you guys.
Yeah, we didn't have a video to put up this morning because of the hurricane. We didn't get to live stream last night because of the hurricane, so we thought maybe we would just live stream some today. And
we'll see if just measure my shotgun house. It's a 16 by 50 and it's 900 square feet. Yeah, Dee's got a little shotgun house thing, and 16 by 50 is a really good size. It's a really good size. If we could have worked in a little bit bigger, because we were thinking of going by 32 at least.
Yeah, at least a 32 is what we wanted.
And that was not going to work because he doesn't want to take any trees out.
I don't want to take any more of my trees down.
So we had to shrink it a little bit and figure different ways around what we wanted and how we wanted it.
And Rocky Brook is the same mentality that I do. You want more land and a smaller house.
Yeah.
If I had it to do all over again,
you'd have kept your land.
I'd have kept my land and shrunk my house. Because I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong with buying more land. The more land you own, the more self-sustainable you can become. It's just the rule. It's the way it is. Used to, when the government told a family they could homestead a place, it was 160 acres. Because the government figured that's what it would take to sustain a big family. And guys, that was the rule back then. And now it seems like the government wants to take everybody and downsize everybody. And by downsizing us, they make us where we can't be sustainable anymore. We have to depend on them to produce some of our food. We need to get back to the old mentality of larger property, smaller homes.
Yeah. Old Alabama Gardener said he was in Gulf Shores, but the hurricane run him out. Well, down on the coast here, that we had one of the biggest weekends ever that they have on the coast is called Cruising the Coast.
Yeah.
It's all these old vehicles, antique vehicles. Everybody has them fixed up. Everybody comes from all over the country to the Mississippi Gulf Coast on this weekend every year, and they ride for 4 days or 5 days, I'm not sure how many days, up and down the coast showing their vehicles off. And they had to ask everybody to leave. They started asking them Friday, and they had to be out of there by sometime yesterday, which meant that was 2 days of Cruising the Coast got cut off. And then they had a music festival of some sort, and it lasted till Friday night, like 1 or 2 in the morning or 3, because it was supposed to be Friday and Saturday night, and they crammed all the acts in on Friday night.
Wow.
So
Susan Nelson said, I am in South Carolina. Land is expensive. My 50 by 100 lot is worth $500,000.
Whoa.
Susan, I would sell it
and get
the heck out of there. I would go somewhere where I could buy me a bunch of land
and still have a few
and still have some money left over to live on for a while.
That would be
There ain't nowhere worth living that's that expensive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't care if all your family lives there. I still would move.
Yeah, that's well, the price of stuff is. Do we get any property? No, we. If they're talking to us, no, we didn't get any property damage.
No,
I don't know about old Alabama Gardener. He's back home. It followed him. It's been raining, but I don't think he had any damage. All right.
Yeah, Susan, you might want to think about Missouri. I mean, Missouri's a great place, especially if you go to the Ozark parts of it. I mean, that is a really good part of Missouri to be in. There are Arkansas, northern Arkansas. They're both low-income places. Now, don't expect to have a lot of money when you go there because they're very low-income places. But they're the jam-up place to retire and to homestead.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I was going to leave here, I would either be going to North Arkansas or southern Missouri, somewhere in that area. I mean, that would be where I'd go.
As long as there's no snow all the time, we can't do this snow thing.
No, I'm not. I mean, but there's not snow all the time. Yeah, it's buffering. I know it buffers all the time. We're sitting here watching it buffer.
Yeah, I don't think Grizz has got to worry about Nate headed his way. It's headed over Florida, and Oregon is in totally opposite direction.
Yeah.
Oh, so, well, we need to go because y'all need to go.
We got a lot of work we got to do, so we got to get up from here. Oh.
Yeah, we've got to finish doing things around here and getting all our stuff put back. It's really not worth it sometimes to take the swing down, move all the chairs, and turntables over.
We got to put stuff back up. I mean, after this prepping thing, man.
We prep and get everything flipped and moved, and then we have to go put it all back. But at least if something had blown through, it wouldn't have blown it through a window.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But. Okay, so I'm going to be seeing if I can shut this down.
Yep, guys, we got to go get busy putting our stuff back out.
I got to find it first.
Oh, first thing is first. Yes, go to that. There you go. Look, guys, we will see and talk to y'all later.
Have a blessed week.
Have a blessed